Good evening. It is almost dark, and I wanted to do a quick walk through our new garden. Um, I'm kind of enjoying to see how this space is developing with our kind of experimental way of dealing with this. I haven't ever started a garden bed like we did this one, so I'm pretty excited to see how it progresses. It's doing pretty well right now. We're supposed to get some rain. I think like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We desperately need it. So I've been watering way more than I normally do because it's now 2 weeks, going on 2 weeks with zero rain. And some of this is newer planted. I tend to water things that aren't established yet. And then once they're established, I kind of try to let them be because they tend to do okay. My dad said, the old timers always said, old time farmers, dry year will scare you, but a wet year will kill you. So dry years scare us, but the plants still grow. Wet years are the ones that are actually harder on our plants and harder to farm our garden. So let's take a look at what we got. Okay, I'm going to start at the top part of our garden. This is one of the first things I planted here. I just used some potting soil and soil conditioner and planted 3 potatoes across. There's a couple, like one, maybe 2 places where one of the potatoes missed, but for the most part, they look absolutely fantastic. I brought the leaf mulch back around, and then I did 3 sunflowers, I guess 4 sunflowers there. They're looking pretty nice. Now, my daughter, as camera girl, helped me plant a few more tomatoes a while ago. It's the one that's a video that's labeled Tomato Math. These plants were really sad and really yellow, and I know it's dark, so it's kind of a little hard to see, but they have perked up a ton in comparison with where they were just about, it was Memorial Day, so it was a Monday, so like 2 weeks ago, or a week ago. Yeah, just over a week ago. So these plants are looking good. Here's my little watering trick jug here. So these look good. They were in little cells and getting way too big for the little cells they were in. And then this German pink is looking very nice. Now these have been in a while. These are, I'm pretty sure, Romas. Like I said, I messed up my labeling. I'm hoping they're Romas because the Romas are the only ones that are determinate tomatoes. So I just have small stakes to support them. So I'm hoping I remembered and picked right. Anybody out there? Does that look like a Roma leaf to you? The color looks fantastic. I'm pretty excited about this. This whole space was just prepared, running our chicken tractor over, covering it with mulch through the winter, and then just actually we just made pathways, moved the mulch and made pathways. I have been, when I plant, adding either potting soil, soil conditioner, or like some organic gardening soil in with the plants as I plant them. Just as a way to kind of amend, but this has not been tilled, and I think some things look pretty darn good. I think I'm going to run out of light before we make it all the way through, but I'm going to kind of try to do a quick run through and maybe do a pan of the new garden or the old garden because that's looking fantastic as well. So I can't wait once we get some rain on this to see what it's going to look like. Now these 2 rows are this bed in this bed. They look kind of raised. That's mainly just the mulch. I just took the mulch from the center and separated it into the 2 beds. We also added some grass clippings. So this is just a really deep mulch of grass clippings and leaf mulch from the fall. And I just came in periodically and I moved the mulch away and then did a hill of either potting soil or gardening soil on top of the existing soil and planted in that. So each hill has radishes in it. These are to leave to blossom to have flowers right here to draw in some of our beneficials to help manage squash bugs, cucumber beetles, and vine borers. And then kind of in between periodically throughout both rows, I added some sweet potatoes. I added some sunflowers just to attract the birds and for some additional beauty. I can't remember the two that I did up here. I think spaghetti squash and another one that I can't remember right now. Every other bed, I think I've got 5 hills of squash here. And then down here I did 2 different kinds of butternut squash. Periodically there's a lovely little sunflower. So they're looking really good. We really need that rain because I've been trying to water these. Little thing that I've discovered this year, these little pigtail posts, they're like a little step-in post for electric fencing. They work pretty good if you kind of get them stepped in right and like hook the hose right up in here and kind of point it towards a bed. It's worked quite nicely for just setting it so that it's watering a portion of the garden and then going and weeding or planting something else somewhere. All right, truly running out of light, so let's do this quickly. And then this bottom bed is all tomatoes. I've got a dozen tomato plants through here. We've got a real tall trellis with some woven wire and metal conduit along the top. But for right now, I just added some string, some jute twine along the bottom, and I'm starting to tie the ones that are getting up to the point where they might lay down. I found the very bottom string that I usually use to support the tomatoes doesn't end up doing much once they get bigger and there's actually fruit on them. So right now I just want to keep them from laying over and like the whole plant having contact with the ground. So just tying those up for right now. And then later, that one's not going to matter. I'm probably going to pull that as they get bigger. It's okay, buddy. And one thing here, we moved, it's okay, buddy. We moved our green stock from over closer to the house where there was a lot more shade. I know. Lucky's telling me that Luke just got home. He's pretty sure we're incompetent. If it wasn't for him, everything would fall apart. But I was debating, I was planning on getting one of like the Lazy Susans or the spinners for the green stock, because back where we had it, it didn't get quite enough sun all the way around. But we moved it out here. It's in between the old garden and the new garden. It's within our electric fence, so it's protected. So I'm excited to see how this does. We did all different kinds of basil in it. Not everything's germinated, but a lot of it's coming. And then I think once I give it a little bit more time, I will fill that in. I have decided I'm not a great container gardener. I don't like spaces that completely dry out. Like I feel like if it's down in the soil, those roots can reach down in and find some water. If it's in something like this and you've got a dry spell, you gotta water. And I think I'm maybe a lazy gardener. I don't know. So, but I'm excited to see how this works. I'm just going to do a quick pan of the original garden because as you can see, it's getting really dark and it's actually darker than what it looks like in the camera. So let's take a look, just do a quick span of the original garden. So this is looking really good. I'm going to be doing a June garden tour really soon, but here's what you can see going on. One thing I have determined, like this whole bed along here, oops, focusing on my hand instead of this whole bed here, I had planted in potatoes years ago. I think my first year, 2020, I had hay and straw bales end to end the whole way, and I planted potatoes in there, and then that broke down, and I just went ahead and like, okay, we'll just plant potatoes in there again. That was 2021, and we did it last year too. And then I'm like, this year I want to plant something different, but there's enough potatoes in there that they're taking over everything. So this just might have to stay the potato bed forever and ever. We'll see. It seems like, I swear I get all the potatoes, but then they start growing and they take over the entire bed. So one last thing, and then I need to go inside. I mentioned this in a short, whoops, can't do that. Let's see, there we go. I mentioned this in a short a little while ago. This is just like one of those like step stool toolboxes. My dad and stepmom gave this to me for Christmas. One, it's just nice to have like a seat that I can kind of move wherever in the garden just to sit and appreciate the garden or sit and work. And then I just have like my nippers and my like gardening twine and hand shovel and those kind of things in here. I really like having this out here. It's a very nice tool that I can just move things around. Anytime I have any type of open container for tools or different things, it doesn't get taken inside because it gets set somewhere and I move on to something else and it's in some miscellaneous corner of the garden and the twine gets wet and gross or whatever. So this has been very nice because I can just carry this to where I need it, make sure I always close it. And it may be at miscellaneous corners in the garden, but my tools and twine and nippers and all of those things are in one place and protected. So just a thought there. All right, getting very dark. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you soon in another video.